Okay, hello creeps, Andy here. We are quickly running out of daylight, so I just want to make this intro very quickly and then we'll get to future me in a second. So basically I went around and I was looking for the most popular book of 2022, whatever year this is, and it's interesting because this book came up a lot on most lists. It was #1, and this writer has like 4 or 5 out of the top 10 spots. It's pretty amazing. This would be It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Now I've seen this name absolutely everywhere. I know that she's big on Book Talk. I should really, look more into that. But regardless, I wanted to give the book a read because it was the most popular book and see if it's a book kind of everyone can enjoy. I'm assuming it's not a horror, sci-fi, or thriller book, which is mainly the category that I stick with. I haven't read anything about this book. I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea what genre it's in. I have not read the description, nothing. But I did look up on Goodreads that it does have over 1 million ratings and a 4.35 star rating, which is fantastic. So I wanted to see if anybody could pick this book up and enjoy it, even if it's not maybe in a category that I would usually like. I don't know if the writing's good, if it's a story that just kind of hits you. I don't know, but I'm very interested to read this. So I'm gonna give it a read. We're gonna come back and reconvene and talk about if I think It Ends With Us, the most popular book of 2022, is worth reading. I'll see you back in a few days and we'll discuss it. Hi, I am back after reading the book. Wow, I have so much to say. Okay, so I don't think I did a very good job explaining why I picked this book. It was on the Amazon's top, like the most top sold book on Amazon in 2022. But basically I just went to a bunch of different websites and I looked at all of the different books, and this one just kept coming up. And so it's kind of a hard thing to find like the most popular book or the most sold book. I don't know how like accurate the websites are, but anyways, that's why I ended up choosing this one. I had no idea what this book was about. I went into it completely blind. I had not an idea of what it was. I kind of assumed it was some sort of romance book because in the past those are books that have kind of like exploded, but I definitely don't read like romance by any means. And so I assumed kind of that's what this was, and about 20 pages in I'm like, okay, this seems like it's gonna be a romance book. It's not gonna be for me, but that's okay. I'm still gonna read it. I still want to talk about, this very popular book. By the way, most sold book on Amazon this year. This was published in 2016. That's pretty impressive. The second one came out this year, which is probably why people went back and bought this one first. But wow, do we need to talk about this book? Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna tell you I'm not gonna give anything away. In fact, I'm only gonna read you the back of the book because I don't want to give away too much. So it says, Lily hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way since the small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lily's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lily. And Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. As questions about her relationship overwhelm her, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love and a link to the past she left behind. He was her kindred spirit, her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lily has built with Ryle is threatened. With this bold and deeply personal novel, Colleen Hoover delivers a heart-wrenching story that breaks exciting new ground for a new writer. It Ends With Us is an unforgettable tale of love, and that comes at an ultimate price. I don't even think that really touches on the back. You read that and you're like, oh, this sounds like a love story. This book is so much more than just a love story. Let me go to my notes really quick. We'll go from there. Okay, so there are definitely themes in here about like how people affect each other's lives and may not even realize like the imprint that you have on people's lives. It deals with a lot of touchy subjects that are difficult to read at times, things like childhood trauma, abusive relationships, and so much more. So know going into it, maybe do some research before to know that if this book is something that you would want to read. But it is hard to read at times, but I'm telling you, I think it is such an important book for young women and men to read. It's so important. This book is so heartbreaking. It showcases the highest highs of life and the lowest lows, and it does such a great job at describing like the confusing emotions that you can feel towards people. It is honestly so, oh, this book hit me. Are you keeping track of the books that made me cry this year? Because this is one of them. I was bawling finishing this book last night. It is so much more than just a love story, and so much deeper and more heartbreaking than I could have ever envisioned a book to be. Man, especially if you've like gone through an abusive relationship, this is a challenging read to go through. But I would like to read you a few of my favorite lines. It's not going to give anything away, but there's just a few lines in here that just kind of hit me, and so I'd like to read them to you. This is more like a paragraph, but I really loved this paragraph. It says, "Imagine all the people you meet in your life. There are so many. They come in like waves, trickling in and out with the tide. Some waves are bigger and make more of an impact than others. Sometimes the waves bring with them from deep in the bottom of the ocean, and they leave those things tossed onto the shore, imprints against the grains of sand that prove the waves have once been there long after the tide recedes." Is that not recedes, not receives? Is that not like the best description you can think of all of the interactions you have with people in your life? Man, I love that. I love that quote very much. And then there's another one here. This one kind of killed me. It says, "Sometimes even grown women need their mother's comfort, so we can just take a break from having to be so strong all the time." Oh, I'm gonna cry. Okay, sorry. Get a little emotional. Man, that line killed me because man, do I miss my mom every single day. And that line was like, yes, so true. But anyways, there are just so many great things about this book. I think it's a great also showcase of like, not everyone is a bad person. I can't even say anything else without giving stuff away, but it really isn't just as easy as this person's bad, this person's good. They're more, you know, three-dimensional characters. You feel for them. Even if they do horrible things, you still feel for them. You feel for everybody in this book. It's so hard to read, but man, did I love this. Am I a Colleen Hoover fan? I just might be. I just might be. I actually just put the second book in my cart because I'm dying to read it. I'm hoping it's a little bit less of like a painful story and a little bit more of a happy story in that one, but this was wild. I might as well have just gone to Magic Mountain while reading this because this was a roller coaster. And so yeah, if you guys have seen any Colleen Hoover books and you've been like, maybe it's just a romance, because that's kind of what the back makes it seem to be, it is so much more than that. I think I'm gonna do these maybe every year, find the most popular book, even if it's just from Amazon, because I think it introduces me to different writers and you know what the general population is enjoying. And by the way, this book, I think I said before, has like 4.5 stars on Goodreads, which is absolutely wild. Yeah, so this has 1.8 million reviews and a 4.34 stars. And I saw that and I'm like, there's no way the book is that good. Like, it just can't be. I'm telling you it is. I loved this book. It was hard to read, it was hard to get through, but my God, was it such a vulnerable, raw read. In the back, she also just explains how some of the instances in the book are taken from her personal life, and I think that those stories are the most impactful for the reader, or stories that are based off of something that the writer has experienced themselves, and especially if they're so forward about the things that they've experienced. I can't even tell you how shocked I am at how much I loved this. I'm so glad that I read it. Do your research and make sure that the topics aren't too heavy for you, because I only touched on a few of them, and there's, I promise you, a lot more going on in here. But I think that it's absolutely worth the read. I really did enjoy it. I don't want to give anything else away, but yeah, I really enjoyed this book. It really was an impactful read, and that's what I'm looking for when I'm reading stories, or something that evokes emotion. And man, was I sobbing reading this last night. So anyways, by the way, I think when I filmed the beginning of this video, I was wearing the same sweater, even though it's like a week later. So yeah, that's me reading the most popular book of 2022. Let me know if you guys have ever read a Colleen Hoover book, and if you have, if you're like a fan of her, please leave down below your favorite of her book if it's not that one, because I definitely will be diving into more of her books. I really am blown away by that read. I really, really loved that. It was a very touching, impactful, emotional, vulnerable story that I just wasn't expecting. So highly, highly recommend if you guys are interested. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know that my uploading schedule is a little off right now. It probably will be until the end of the year, but just, you know, stick with me until then. I have a few more videos that I want to get out before the end of the year, but yeah. So yeah, this was an interesting experience. Let me know what books surprised you this year that you've read, and I will see you soon with another horror video. Bye guys.